One of the easiest ways that you can get more leads for your business and book more sales calls is by adding a live chat feature to your website. But with most live chat features being costly or difficult to set up, it's hard to know if it's a good use of your time and money. Today, my goal is to cut through all of the noise online and share with you what is, in my opinion, the best live chat widget available on the market, the one that I use for my brand that is easy to use, customizable, and free. Let's jump into it. So the chat widget that I use on my website is called tawk.to. You can see here on the pricing page, it says no credit card or payment required ever. And I think this is the best chat widget for you to introduce live chat on your website. Later in the video, we'll actually be going over some of the reasons why it might make sense to pay for tawk.to. But for me, I'm on the completely free plan. And unless you have a really large team or you want to remove the minimal branding, you don't need to pay for tawk.to at all. I also thought it might be helpful before we get into setting up the widget to show you what the widget itself looks like. You can see down here my chat bubble, and when you open it up, you have, well, I already have a conversation started because I was testing it on my website, but you have the ability to gate your chat requiring an email, which I love because then you can follow up via email in case the person gets busy and doesn't come back to the website. And tawk.to also gives you the ability to create a welcome sequence that keeps the prospect warm while you are actually answering their chat. And we'll go through all of that today. But I love this because you can customize it with your branding, you can customize the flow, and you can choose whether or not to gate your chat with email. So I currently have tawk.to set up on my portfolio website, angelafrank.com, but I actually need to set it up on my consultancy's website. So we're going to do that together, and I'll show you exactly how to set up tawk.to, how to customize it, and the things that you need to keep in mind to improve your conversion rates. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create Property, and this screen here is actually the same screen you'll see when you first create your account. So I'm going to go ahead and name my property, and the name of your property should just be your website. And that way, if you manage multiple websites or you have landing page specific chatbots, you can keep them separate here. To install the widget, you're just going to copy this bit of code here, and you're going to add it as an injection on your website. And this sounds a lot more scary in theory than it is in practice. But if you don't want to do that, there's also plugins for many website builders here, and you can go ahead and install the plugin. For me, I always like to use the header or the body injection because that way I can quickly add or remove things as I need. So we're actually going to do that now. So currently the website for the Growth Directive is hosted in Webflow. Although I am in the process of migrating out of Webflow to Kajabi, I still think it's valid for me to set this up. And in Webflow, just like in every other website builder, there will be an area for you to inject custom code. In Webflow, you just come down here and click Custom Code. But for you to be able to find this for your website builder, if you're not in Webflow, just go ahead and Google your website builder name, Squarespace, Kajabi, wherever your website is built, and say custom code injection. And usually there's a really good help article where you can even click and go directly to the area where you can inject custom code. Now you can see here our tawk.to instructions said put it in the body code, but when I come to Webflow, there's only head code and footer code options. But you can see here that footer code adds code before the body tag. And when we look at tawk.to, that's exactly where it's asking us to put this code. You can place this code before the body tag on every page of your website. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. When you put it in this head code area or wherever your website builder allows you to add this code, it works just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and paste the code we got from tawk.to here, and I'm going to click Save. After that, for most website builders, it will be live on your site. But with Webflow, I have one more step, which is to publish to my domains. This essentially just says, yes, I want to now take all the changes that I've made and push them live to the site. So we can go ahead and see that this is actually working because the chat widget is popping up right here. Now, you can see that this chat widget does not match my brand colors. It has a little bit of flair with the emoji hand saying we are here, which I'm going to remove, and I'll show you how. And it also has a very generic sequence here when you open it up. So now that we have the widget installed on our website, we're ready to begin customizing it. So what we're going to do is come to your administration panel and click on Chat Widget. That should bring you here. And you can see here that we already have the ability to customize the widget. We can choose the desktop and the mobile icon, and we can choose the placement where we want it to appear on our screen. Now, almost everyone online who has encountered a chat widget in the wild knows that it's in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So I don't advise moving your desktop widget or your mobile widget position. However, you can play around with the sizing if you want to make it bigger or smaller, or if you want to change its icon on mobile. Now, looking at my website, I really want my chat widget to stand out when somebody is on the website and looking for information. So because of that, I'm not going to change it to be the same green color because I think it'll blend in. Instead, I'm going to use a yellow highlight color to really make it stand out. And to do that, you can simply click on the areas where you can see color being featured and change it to your desired color. And tawk.to will actually show you a preview of how everything is going to look right here. So I really like how that looks. I'm going to go ahead and click save, and then I'm going to exit out. Now, another thing I want to point out here is that you have the ability to schedule when your widget will and will not show, and you also have the ability to hide the widget when you're offline. However, I don't personally use this feature because I have the tawk.to app on my phone, again, completely free, and so if I'm not at my desk but somebody chats in, I have the ability to answer the chat right on my phone. Now, one of the things that you may want to do with your chat widget is change the messages that appear when somebody visits your website and use a little bit of automation to keep a prospect warm while you pull up their chat and get ready to answer it. We're going to do that now. If you come to your administration panel and then click on chat widget, and then go to the part of your screen where you see widget content. It's a little bit tricky, but they hide the customization ability here next to English. You can go ahead and click edit content. And now here is where you're able to actually customize the way that somebody is greeted when they open chat. One of the things that you may not have is a knowledge base. And if that's the case, I recommend turning that off. And since I don't have a knowledge base for my consultancy, I'm going to turn it off. I do want to keep live chat on because that's how people can get in touch with me. And tawk.to actually has a few additional add-ons here if you're interested in video, voice, and screen sharing, or their AI assist. But turning off the knowledge base isn't the only customization you have on tawk.to. You also have the ability to change up what's shown here in the header of the chat widget, including in the heading and the text area, as well as the cards that show here. So because we turned off knowledge base above, I'm also just going to turn it off again here, even though it says it will not appear. That way it doesn't get accidentally turned on in the future. You have the ability to toggle the chat feature off and on and just leave your conversations. Completely defeats the purpose of having a chatbot, so I recommend leaving that on. And then it's up to you if you'd like users to be able to view previous conversations, or if you only want new conversations to be able to be started here in the chat widget. So for me, I'm going to turn that off because it doesn't make the most sense. And then I'm going to go ahead and edit the text here that you see in the header. Okay, so this is how my chat is looking. I have a welcome message, and then I have a call to action. Questions, message me here. And then when somebody has a question, they can go ahead and click new conversation. But you'll also probably want to customize what happens when somebody starts a chat. And you're going to do that by going to pre-chat and enabling pre-chat. Now, what I like to do for pre-chat is require a name and email. And to do that, I just click in the body cards and click add form. And the reason I do this is because if somebody gets disconnected from the chat or they get pulled into another task and they abandon the chat, if I don't have a way to follow up with that prospect to answer their questions, well, then that's not very helpful. And so what I do is require a name and email for somebody to go ahead and enter the chat feature. So we have our form here, but we're not done yet because we want to require somebody to fill out this form to enter the chat. And you do that simply by clicking these stars here and clicking save. And now somebody must enter their name and email to enter the chat. When you make a form, you also have some options to add additional requirements, such as a phone number or longer text, multiple choice questions. However, I recommend keeping your form as short as possible because when somebody accesses your chat widget, they have a question that they want answered. And when you have a question, you want it answered quickly. So keep the form as small as possible and get any information that you need from the prospect later on, either in the chat itself or via email later. Now we have our widget customized, we have our welcome message set up, and we have the form. However, what happens when somebody actually visits our website? We can actually customize a welcome message, and you can trigger it to be shown right away when someone lands on your website or after they've been on your website for a set period of time. So let's do that now. To do this, we're going to make sure we're on our administration tab, and then we're going to navigate to settings and trigger. And you can see here that tawk.to has 2 triggers already set up for you, and one of those is a welcome message. So we're going to edit the welcome message now. So for the welcome message on my portfolio site, I actually set the delay to be 10 seconds. However, I'm going to do a little bit of an A/B test to see if no delay on my consulting site is better than a 10-second delay. So I'm not going to set a delay. However, if you choose to set a delay, you have options ranging from 10 seconds to up to an hour, and you can play around with what makes sense for your brand. Now, because when somebody visits my personal website or my consulting website, they really expect to be interacting with me, I like to set myself as the chat avatar for the welcome message. And so you can see here that I uploaded my headshot, I set the name to be my name, and I also include a welcome message, which is questions, message me here. It's really calling out that you're there and available for people if they have questions. And so I like to keep it short and sweet. Now, when you set up your chatbot, you'll see that tawk.to has some pre-populated options, which I accidentally went and deleted. So I've added some back here. Now, if you want to create an automated sequence to pre-qualify prospects before you hop on a chat, you have the option to do that here with pre-populated options. I like a little bit more of a personal touch to my live chat, so I'm going to go ahead and remove those. However, just know that that option is there for you if you choose to use it. For me, I'm happy with this, so I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Now, in addition to a welcome sequence, tawk.to also has what's called a chat rescue automation that will already be set up for your brand. And you may want to customize this as well. So let's go ahead and click on Chat Rescue. If you want to control whether the chat rescue will populate or not, you can toggle that on or off right here. However, I think it's a great idea to keep it on, even if you're just sending a message saying, hey, thanks so much for writing in. Looks like we're busy at the moment, but we will follow up with you via email. Really being over communicative during the customer service process will be key to your success. So because we required their name and email for them to access the chat, we don't need them to fill out a ticket here. So I'm going to go ahead and set a custom message. And the pre-populated message here is, sorry to keep you waiting. Unfortunately, all of our agents are currently busy or away. Please leave us a message and we will get back to you as soon as possible. And then they also ask, what's the best email? So I like the bones of this message, but I'm going to clean it up a little bit to make it more applicable to my consulting business. So here's how I customized my chat rescuer. One of the things I did was increase the amount of time that I have to answer somebody's question before this automation triggers. So this was set to 30 seconds at default. However, pulling up my phone, pulling up the chat, and actually reading their message, I feel might take me more than 30 seconds. And so I set this to be 1 minute. If I find that this doesn't give me enough time to fully answer somebody's question, I will go ahead and increase this to 2 minutes. However, you don't want somebody waiting on your website too long because they'll go ahead and just bounce. So for that reason, I'm going to keep it at 1 minute for now. The rest of the automations I kept the same. Coming down to this portion where you can actually automate the chat, I changed the agent's name from customer support to Robo Angela, making it clear that it's an automated message and that the real Angela will follow up with you shortly. I also changed the avatar. You have the ability to select a pre-made avatar from this nice selection here, and I chose this one that looks kind of sort of similar to me. And I also changed the chat message to do 2 things. 1, be more skimmable, and 2, make it clear that I will follow up with them as soon as possible. So the new message says, sorry to keep you waiting. Angela is currently busy or away from her phone. Please leave a message and she will get back to you as soon as possible. And so just like with all the other steps we completed, you can see here a preview of how this will look in chat. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Okay, so coming back to my website, you can see that all of the changes we've actually made are present here on the website. However, there's one bit of customization that remains, which is removing this bit of flair here with the emoji that says, we are here. This particular flair just doesn't match my brand guidelines, and so I'll show you how to do that now. In administration and chat widget, if you come down here and go to advanced under widget appearance, you have the ability to toggle off your attention grabber. Or if you like the concept but you don't like the design, you can click gallery next to this and choose from their pre-made designs, their seasonal designs, or you have the ability to upload your own. So if you like the concept but want something custom to you, you can do that here. For me, I automated the chat bubble to pop up when somebody's on my website. And so I think that combined with this might just be too much. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle it off and click save. Now coming to the website, we can see that the chat bubble is here and our form is required. When we enter our details, we can go ahead and start the chat. I'm just going to chat back to show you what this looks like. And you can see here back on my website that this pops up. Now you will see that there's a button here that's advertising tawk.to in your chat that says add free live chat to your site. And this brings us to the optional add-ons section. So let's go ahead and chat about that now. To find add-ons, you'll come here to the little package icon, and there are a few options available, including removing that branding. So if you're like, I just don't feel like it's the vibe to have that little ad there on my chat widget, you can go ahead and activate this add-on to remove that from your chat. You also have the ability to hire live agents, virtual assistant services, add on that video, voice, and screen sharing that we mentioned earlier. And the other interesting thing is this AI Assist, which starts at $29 a month and goes up to $399 a month, depending on the size of your business and whether your AI is a business critical need or not. And looking at AI Assist, you're actually able to train the AI to handle customer service inquiries so that somebody is immediately getting their questions answered and you or your team don't need to be actively monitoring chat. Now, one of the add-ons here that's marked coming soon, I'm especially excited about, and when this is available will probably be the time when I actually start paying for tawk.to, and that is activating a phone number. There's actually a CRM solution that's loved by agencies because you can white label it and resell it at a huge markup to clients, and that CRM is called Go High Level. And the text message feature is actually something that I really like about Go High Level. However, I find Go High Level to be unnecessarily complicated for founders, and I find that it's really only best if you're using it to resell it then to your clients. And so I really like that tawk.to is going to be offering that here, because now somebody has the ability to text you from your chat widget, and that way when you respond, your response will go directly to their phone. And so when this feature actually becomes available, I will be paying for it because I am so excited to have that feature live on my website without having to go through the whole Go High Level headache or use some other expensive tech platform. In addition to a phone number, there's some other things on the roadmap like taking in-chat payments and having a shopping cart feature. However, those aren't as applicable to my business structure, so I'm not quite as excited about them. But if you're an e-commerce provider or somebody who likes to take payments right in chat or email, that is something that you can look forward to soon. So I hope that you're now able to see that adding a chat widget to your website is quick, easy, and free. And it's really a tool that you can use to get more leads in your business and make more sales. Now, if you want to make more sales in your business, you're probably interested in how I'm able to get free media coverage in less than 30 minutes a week of work. I have an entire video breaking down my process linked right here. You should watch it next.